Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone tonight? Hopefully, doing good. I'm sharing links, so give me a second. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hey, Marty, Marty, Marty. How are you? Hi, Ron. How is everybody tonight? Hi, Beverly. I know, Marty, you never first. You must be on your game tonight, girl. How is everybody doing? I know I was running late, so I apologize for running late. I try to run usually a little bit early, but today has been crazy for me. Oh, hi, Lori. I am running horribly late today. Today has just been not a good day for me. We'll give everybody a little time to get here because I know I was late starting. A lot of people come in early, so they may have came in and left. Oh, you don't mind me being a tiny bit late. I bet you're just loving having them there to visit with, though, aren't you? I know. I got a text from Lori. She's like, "Are you okay?" Well, I'll tell you what. Normally, my kids go to see their dad on Saturdays and Sundays. Um, but he called and whatever is messing, whatever's different this week or whatever. So they're going to visit him tonight. So they have to leave during the middle of my live. So we were trying to get all that situated and everything else. And it's been a bad day. I woke up this morning with a horrid migraine, and I saw that, Lori. I think it was implied. That's so funny. How are you feeling, Beverly? We'll give everybody some time to get in here. Oh, then get something to eat, girlfriend. Jeez. We cheated. We had like sub sandwiches and chips for dinner tonight. It was just way too hot with 90 degrees temperatures. I do not like heating the house up with the oven or anything like that when it's hot. You don't need the extra added heat when it's 90 degrees. I bet. Oh, I hate when you order food or whatever and it takes forever to get there. Me too. I am a I love to cook, but I like to cook in the winter. When it gets about 65 degrees, I don't want to cook again until it's 65. But I like salads and stuff like that too. I know mom texted and wanted to know. She's like, "Are you going to be on tonight?" But she hasn't showed up. Nettie's in the house. Then I had to go to the grocery store today, which I dislike doing at this time. But we did go to the grocery, and that was crazy. Hey, mom. Hello, Kathy. How are you? I know Lori is just moving. I seen that. I was so excited for her. Yeah, macaroni salad sounds good. My kids love pickled eggs, and I made some pickled eggs for them. Oh my gosh. Ugh, I don't like them, but they do. Yeah, Marty, I think she's actually more than that. Because I think I was looking earlier and she was more than that. Like maybe like 145 or something crazy like that. I don't remember. It was a lot. April's in the house. I know. I think a pasta salad sounds really good. 145. She's at 145. Jeez. She is flying, which I'm glad. Hey, Joetta. I was thinking about you today. That's crazy. I know. She's just picking them up like crazy. Yeah, pasta salad I think sounds really good. I make a Big Mac salad. My kids like that a lot. But you know what I really think sounds good? A taco salad. My mom makes the best taco salad, you guys. She makes it by the big, huge, massive bowls. Ooh. Yep. Thumbs up, subscribe, like, share. I'm really close. I think I'm like really close to like hitting the 1200 mark. I need four more people to hit 1200. I'm so close. And yet it seems so far away. It's funny how that happens. Okay, I'm gonna get started, I guess. Um, I will tell you right now, when it gets around 10:30ish, if you hear a lot of shuffling and noise in the background, I apologize. That's my kids leaving, so you may hear that in the background. Okay, so we're gonna be making the Steampunk Spirit Loaded Pocket today. This is one version. I'll show you sort of the difference in a little bit. You'll see the difference. And I'll explain both that I do. I make one if I'm mailing it, and well, you'll see the difference. It just sort of depends on what you want to mail. I'm going to be using score tape today, though. I've had this forever, you guys, like over a year, and I've not opened the package. Because when I buy it, you can get like 4 or 5 of these at one time. Oh, M.A. Barrett is Marianne. She is in the Facebook group. She lurks around in here too, but she doesn't, because of her schedule. When people have different schedules and things like that, it depends on when they can be here or there or whatever. But it's Marianne. She's in the Facebook group. Yep, I did too. I got my cute little card. It's so cute. I love it. And with some little stickers. And she didn't sign my card, Lori. That's what I thought it was, watermelon and pancakes. I don't know if that's supposed to be fruit or pancakes, but it looks like pancakes on mine. I'm not sure about no watermelon and pancakes. It's a sort of odd combination. But yep, so I did get that today. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to be using score tape. When I made this one, I actually used Fabri-Tac. So, I mean, and you can see along the edges where I used my Fabri-Tac. Well, maybe you guys can't, but I can. You can use Fabri-Tac. You can use art glitter glue. Kathy Jean, it may take a little bit of time. Marianne, yes, A-N-N-E. And it's all one word. If you go into the event on the Facebook page, her name and her address and everything's there. But her name is Marianne. Yep. But yeah, you can use glue, Fabri-Tac, art glitter glue, whatever. Or you can use your 1/4-inch tape. I'm going to use the tape just to sort of save on the amount of time it takes me to dry. I don't have to let it dry if I'm using tape. So that is why. Just so you guys know. But that is the only reason why I'm using it. Normally I would use my glue of whatever sort. So I will be using that. So I'm going to set this to the side so it's out of the way a minute. I'll explain this in a minute. Because we're doing Steampunk Spirit, I knew I had seen Steampunk buttons at my Walmart, like in your sewing area. And they have the little packs, you have like the little clear acetate bags, that they put them in. And they had them, they were like $2.97 and you got 9 in one bag and you got like 12 in the other, or 15 in the other. So you got 9 in one bag and 15 in the other. So if I bought 2 bags of them, I was trying to figure out, because they were $2.97 a piece. They were $3 a piece, basically. And I would have got, let's see, that would have been 24 buttons for basically a little bit less than $6. This was $5.97, and I actually got 73 of them in there. So, if you see these big boxes like this versus the little small bags and you want to stock up, this is the way to go. I paid $5.97 for this. There's 73 steampunky style buttons in here. There's gears and clocks. And so, I mean, you can use them for other than steampunky things. There's little clocks. And they're in different sizes. There's little gears. There's big gears. There's like hearts with gears. Some of them are button, they have the button holes. Some of them have the thing on the back. I cut those off though, so it's not a big deal for me if they have those. So that did save me, because I figured out by buying the box the amount of buttons that I get in here versus if I would have bought the little bags, I would have paid almost $18 for the same amount if I bought the little bags. So there's that. So that is basically all that I need to get through as far as explaining things. I am going to use these 2 stamps. These are Tonic Studios. This one is called Keys and Roses. This is Tonic Studio, and it's called Inspired Time. Inspired Time and Keys and Roses. And you get a nice mixture. So these were some of the ones I found at my Tuesday mornings. So, okay. So I think that's about it. I am going to be using, I have pre-inked most of my ephemera and stuff, and I'm using archival ink and potting soil. If you don't want to use that, feel free to use your vintage photo. It's about the same. I sort of like the potting soil. It has a little bit of a darker tone to it. And with being steampunk, I sort of wanted to dredge it up a little darker. Yep, April, it was a great deal. Me too. I love the Keys and Roses. They are just gorgeous. And I mean, yeah, they're really pretty. So I probably will use both of those because if you think about our kit, you know, it's got a lot of roses and, you know, roses and all that kind of stuff in it. So I think it'll work good. I love that. That just needs to be framed and put on the wall, don't it? Isn't that pretty? I like the keys too. Yes, you can take out of the tape roller things too. Yep. No, I'm actually making yes, I am going to make this tonight. And I'll probably go ahead and show her. Yeah, I like broken twigs too. But this, I wanted the darker tone. And I think where broken twigs has more of like that natural brown. And this sort of had that more metallic darkness to it. But I'm actually going to make a journal for my design team project. So this is sort of a mini design team project. I actually printed this kit. I loved it so much. I actually printed it off 3 times. So I think I'm going to make a loaded pocket. Well, I'm going to end up having 2 loaded pockets, a journal, and then I'm thinking about doing a lap book with the other one. Sorry, altered file folder. My throat is really scratchy from this morning, you guys. So bear with me if you hear me drink, and I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do 2 different forms of a loaded envelope. This is a basic one. This is like one that I would fill and mail through the mail. I mean, I mail both. It's water. And I would mail through the mail. This has a single sheet. And then I will show you if you want bulk so you can send more items. I'll show you how to build that one too. I love cappuccino too. Yeah. What's wrong with me? I woke up this morning with a extremely, extremely severe migraine. And when I get migraines and stuff like that, it leads to vomiting and all kinds of stuff. So it's been one of those mornings. But I'm finally starting to, I guess, settle down some. So it's been a bad day. Okay. I am using, this is Michael's brand, the Michael's Premium Cardstock. Let me get a pack so I can show you what the front looks like. Okay, this is the Nina Creative Collection. You get 50 sheets in a pack. It's normally $6.99. I'm sorry, Hobby Lobby. It's normally $6.99 at Hobby Lobby, not Michael's. So I'm glad I grabbed that. It's normally $6.99 or $5.99. And I actually got it on clearance for $1.49. You know, so you can get it for like $3 a pack. Sometimes you can get it cheaper if it's on sale and you have a clearance coupon. But you can watch it. But it's let's see. Let me see. It is 65 pound is what it is. So it's like cover cardstock. It's not as heavy as your bulky. Now if I'm doing my ephemera, and I'll sort of show you the difference. Well, I get stress migraines. It was $5.99 normally. I got it on clearance for $1.49 a pack though. But yeah, it's $5.99. And if you get it when it's on sale, it's not too bad. When their card stock's like 50% off, you can get it for $3 a pack for 50. Sometimes you can find it at Walmart. Just sort of depends where you look around. But this is like 110-pound cardstock, and you can hear how bulky that is. This is like your standard Walmart cardstock that you buy. This is 65. It still sounds the same, but it's just, it doesn't weigh as much. So I like using it specifically for stuff I'm going to mail through the mail because it's lighter. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, so we're going to get started. And I'm going to start with my 8.5 by 11. And I've got my big swing line cutter. Just because that's what I like to do. Okay, so I am going to, let's see. I am going to turn this way. On the 8.5 side at the top, 8.5 at the top, I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. And yes, there is a reason why I do it this specific way. So just bear with me. So I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. Okay. Then I'm going to slide this through again, and I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. I want that 1-inch strip. I'm going to cut it at 5. Cut it on the 8.5-inch side. Cut it at 6 inches. Then cut it at the 1 inch off your 6-inch part. Okay? Easy peasy. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the 2.5 piece, the 2.5 piece that we have, right? Okay, and you're just going to cut it at 5.5. So you're going to take the 2.5-inch piece, cut it at 5.5 in the middle, cut it in half, set it to the side. Okay, so we have our 5-inch by 11-inch. Okay. We have 5.5 by 2.5. You should have 2 of those. Okay. This base piece. Okay. We're going to turn it around. Okay. We're going to slide it. We're going to cut it at 8 inches. So the 11-inch length, you want to cut it down to 8 inches. There is a reason why I'm doing it at 8 inches. And just set that piece to the side. Okay. If you do this at 8 inches by 5 inches and you get it complete, when you get it completed, you can slide it into a 6x9 envelope to mail, which makes it really nice. If you pack it full of flat ephemera with, no lace, no trims, or minor amounts where you can keep it below 1/4 inch, you can mail it as a regular envelope with like a stamp or 2 or 3 on it. So it keeps down your cost. If you make it real fluffy and all that, you can still do it in a 6x9 because you have a 1/2 inch on each side, a 1/2 inch on top and bottom. So that gives you that space to get the thickness in. You can still ship it a lot cheaper. So that's why I do that. Okay. So you should have your 5x8, 2 pieces. Whoops. You should have 2 pieces that are, let me make sure, 5.5 by 2.5. You should have 2 of those. Okay. You should take this that is the 11 inches long. It's the 1-inch strip. You're going to cut it at 5.5. Okay. Cut it at 5.5. So you're going to have 2 5.5 by 1-inch strips. Let me make sure that's it. And this piece, which measures 5 inches by 3 inches, you're just going to set to the side. Okay. You're going to get another piece of cardstock out. Another piece. You're going to cut it off again at 6 inches. Hold on, let me think that. Let me rethink. and make sure I'm right. Yes, at 6 inches. This piece you can just set to the side. Then you're going to cut this off again at 8 inches. Okay, set it to the side. Okay, then you can get rid of your cutter. You're done with the cutter. Okay, so you need a scoreboard. We'll pull all these out and we'll go through them. Okay, your 5-inch by 8-inch set to the side. No scoring. 5 by 8, no scoring. Okay, your 5 by 3, again, no scoring. Okay, then you're going to grab a 1. Remember, we have the 2 that are 1 by 5.5. You're going to score at 1/4 inch. So you're going to make a 1/4 inch score. You're going to score at 1/4, and you're going to score at 5 1/4. Okay, 1/4, 5 1/4. Grab your next one. You're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to score at 1/4, 1/4, and 5 1/4. Okay, 1/4, 5 1/4. Okay, you're going to grab your 5.5 by 2.5. You're going to score at 1/4. So score at 1/4 and at 5 1/4. Okay. Then you're going to slide it around and you're going to score at 2 1/4. Score at 2 1/4. Set it to the side. You keep it in a different pile than the others. Leave it over there. Okay. Then you're going to go on the 5.5 by 2.5. You're going to score at, 1/4. You guessed it. Good job. And you're going to score at 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Okay. You're going to turn it around. A stuffed elephant. Mom, you're so funny. And then you're going to do it at 2 1/4. 2 1/4. Set it in the same pile with the other one. Okay. Now, you have your 6-inch, and you need to make sure you double check this part so you don't score the wrong direction. Okay. You want 6-inch across the top, 6 across the top, 8-inch down. So make sure you're going to start your score line from the 6-inch side. Okay. Now, we're going to score. You're going to score at 1/4 inch, right? And you're also going to score at 1/2 inch. 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay. Then you're going to go back after you score at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, and you're going to score at 3/8. Is that right? Yes. So 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. Okay. Then you're going to come to the 6th side. You're going to score at 5 3/4, 5 3/4, and 5 1/2. Right. And then 5 5/8. Did everybody get that? You're going to score at 1/4, 3/8, at 1/2. Then on the other side, you're going to score at 5 3/4, 5 5/8, and 5 1/2. Okay. You're going to turn. You're going to come to where the 8 is. You're going to score at 7 3/4, Score at 7 3/4. I always score mine twice. That's just me. If you're one of those people that don't need to do that, then you don't have to. You're going to score at 7 5/8. 7 5/8. Okay. Then you're going to score at 7 3/4. Okay. And you're going to set it. And you're done scoring. Woohoo! And let's find my scissors. I get this cardstock out of the way. Okay. Let me grab my scissors. And I'm looking for my punch. Give me a second. Well, I won't use my punch. I'll do it without a punch that way. Let me grab a pencil. I need a pencil. Okay, and I got a pencil. Okay, so what I'm going to do first thing is I'm going to put this down. I'm going to, while I'm here, because I know I have 6 inches. So I know 3 is my dead center. Right? So I have mine laying on a board. You can use a ruler or whatever. Mark your center. Then I'm just going to use, I have one of these really cute like Pioneer Woman jar things. I'm just going to use my lid. Use the bottom of your Fabri-Tac, whatever round thing. And then I'm just going to line it up, sort of measure it, and see where about your center is. And then I'm just going to move it down, sort of making sure that I have it centered. And if you have a punch, you can just take your punch and line it up, and it makes everything really easy. But some people don't have punches, so that's why I'm using a lid. Then I'm just going to draw my circle around it, right like that. Right? So I'm just going to do it like that. I love those little containers. I got them in my, my mom actually got it for me, I think, for Christmas maybe, or Mother's Day, or I don't know. I think my mom got it for me. I'm pretty sure my mom got my little spice jar thingies for me. And then I'm just going to cut this out. If you have a punch, you'd already be done by now, and I have a punch, but. And if you don't want to do circular and you want to do square, or you want to do sort of like a file folder tab, anything like that, you can. Make it your own. I'm one of those preachy people. Make it your own. You do not have to follow everything that I do. Make it your own. Okay, so before I start doing anything now, I'm going to take my scissors, and you see where we grid mark, just like I'm just going to cut right through the center of those, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, right through the center of both of them. Yeah, I think Mom got them maybe for Christmas or Mother's Day. I don't know. And again, here, I'm just going to cut through. I'm just going to cut through, just like if you do any other scoring. I did that one a little off. And these aren't, you're not going to see these, so you don't have to, I mean, normally if I'm going to see them, then I sort of, I don't do an exact triangle. I sort of, edge them funny. But you're not actually even going to see these, so it's not going to matter. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead, and what did I do? Oh, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and varnish my folds. So you can go ahead and do that. Have that done and out of the way. You don't have to worry about it. The only thing that I do, and some people may, I don't know, I think it just sort of depends on the person. Some people just grab them and go. I almost always try to put, a lot of people will put their flaps in and this on the outside. I don't do that. I sort of, when I'm gluing, well, daggone it. I try to make sure I put my bottom in first, because that keeps your, whatever you slide in there from getting caught up. So, okay, so I'm going to do this one too. I'm going to go ahead and burnish them all down. So before we get to the big one, then we'll get through the big one together. So just burnish all of them down, set them to the side. They're out of the way. They're good to go. Okay, this one. Okay, you're going to go, what in the world is this woman doing to me? It's really simple. The very first line right here inside your envelope, okay, just fold all the way over there. And you have to sort of watch because it's an 1/8 inch fold, so you may have to sort of look to make sure you got them all. And burnish down, right like that. So when you burnish, you should still have, let me see if I can get this where I'll show you. You should still have 2 little score marks there. Okay? So next, you're going to go to the first line in from the outside, and you're going to fold out. And I always just sort of look to make sure, you know, that I'm going the right direction. Just like if you're going to make like an accordion fold, that type of fold. And burnish, right? Okay. Then I turn it this way. And the very last score line, I'm going to fold this edge in. You're just going to make a little bitty accordion. And fold and burnish. Everybody still with me? Everybody's still with me? Okay. Then I just sort of, you know, flip that out because I'm going to have to do this side. Okay. So we're going to start again. I'm going to go into the very inside, push it in just like you normally would, just like you would burnish it in. All right. So you get this nice, clear, crisp edge. Okay. Come in at the first one, which it is easier to do if you do it this way where you can see. Fold it. And I always fold mine across and then sort of fold it down with my fingers and then go through for the final, just so I don't do like a major burnish and realize that I did it completely wrong. Okay. And like that. Yep, it does make a big difference. And like this edge here, where you do the accordion, a lot of times in your journals and stuff, people will do pockets and you'll see them, they'll do just like this. If you need a little extra space because you want to stick, you know, 3 or 4 tags in there and they're sort of bulky because you get, you know, you have usually your coffee dyed paper, you've got whatever you printed your card on, then whatever, you know, you've layered it with. Yeah, instead of doing this, you can do this little, just this teeny tiny little 1/8 inch Z fold type here. It's sort of accordion fold. It's not a Z fold, it's an accordion fold. But you can do that, and that'll add you enough room that you can slide stuff in and out without it getting caught up all the time and you can't get anything in and out. It's crazy. But yeah, you'll see people get in there and then they gotta like move it around and scooch it around and everything to get it in there. That's why. A lot of times there's just, if they put it out like that, it gets caught up on there. And we're going to do this side the same way. Just remember, and the easy way to remember is if you have score, you have 3 score lines. Okay. You know the outside when you want that clear, sharp edge, it always has to go back. Then you just go back, front, you know, inside, outside, inside. Easy money. It does make a difference. I know some people, you know, are like, oh, it doesn't really make a difference. And I'm like going, yeah, it does. Okay. And then, yeah, no, the flap that you're going to glue on has to always go on the inside. Always has to go on the inside. and burnish down. Now, once you get done doing this, what I always like to do, and it again, that's each to his own. Hi, Connie. You can see, hopefully you guys will be able to see. Oh, come on, come in. Okay. You can see where this like gooby little triangle is on the end where there it went, where the accordion fold is. You sort of have this weird little fold sticking out here. Okay. I don't mind the one on the bottom so much, but this adds a lot of bulk in your corner. So I take my outside, fold it out, and you can see right here where this is going in, and you have this little corner right here. I just take my scissors and nip that little part off. That's just where you folded it. And now it folds into a really nice mitered corner with no bulk. And that'll take the bulk out. Sometimes people don't do that, and it drives me crazy. I don't like that bulk in there. So that's just the way I do it. So, and that takes that out. I am doing a loaded pocket, Connie. Okay. And then this folds in right like this. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my score tape. If you're using glue, feel free to do that. This is double-sided. Double-sided. And I do have a 1/4 inch. You can buy the 1/8 inch if you'd rather deal with that. I just buy the 1/4 inch because it's, that's what I tend to use. And I'm using this solely because, and did you notice that I put this on the inside, not on the outside? So what I do is I put this down. Then I glue the sides down. I put the tape on both sides, or my glue on both sides, especially if you're using tape, which is what I like to use anyway when I do, loaded pockets, because that tape, that little corner of the tape right there holds that down. Okay. And I just line this up. And if you have to trim it off, you can. It's not a big deal. Now make sure I hold this where it needs to be. So as I glue it down or tape it down, it goes there. It's a loaded pocket. It's a loaded pocket. Oh, did somebody say a stuffed envelope, a loaded pocket? It's okay. It's a loaded pocket, technically. Okay. And if you want to know a trick with this tape, and a lot of people go, well, if you use your scissors or whatever, hold it even with the edge that you want and just pull, and it comes off. And it's a little bit easier than, dealing with your scissors, just in case you wanted to know that trick. Okay, and I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to grab my other two that I have here. And again, I'm going to hold it down. Tape. And you don't have to have your ink thing. You can use, where did I do with mine? Oh, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. You can hold your, oh, that's all dirty. Yuck. Somebody didn't clean that up. That wasn't me. You can hold your stamp block. Will do the same thing. I don't like doing it with my stamp block. The ink things do it a lot better, I think. Do I have my tape double at the corners? What do you mean? Like this goes all the way to the bottom. I take this all the way. I take my tape all the way to here at the very end seam. And then when I do this, I go over top of the tape that's already there, because I'll show you a trick of how I do that. And I double up on the corners. If a pocket is going to rip off when you're doing it, it will always be in the corner or at the top. That is the two places. I don't know why, but if you go and you fill them full of a lot of stuff, the corners always bust out. Yes, it goes across the top at the side. I think I explained that before your comment came up, but you got to love the lag of questions. So yeah, see, that's so much easier with the thing. And if you have a little bit of tape that sticks off the end, you can always tuck it or roll it up without a problem. So you don't have to really worry about that. Yeah, I always do. I like that added support in the corners. And it's just, you don't have to do that. Some people won't. Some people go down to it and they're like, I'm like, that's a little 1/4 of an inch of a tape on each side. I don't really stress about that little 1/4 of an inch, if that makes sense. I know it adds up eventually, but I would rather have the support. Okay, so we have those. Then we have our 2 little strips, and those just get folded on the score line and varnished. Hi, Linda. How is Linda? And right like that. Burnish those ends down. Easy money, guys. Easy money. All the hard part's done. The hard part of making this is done. It is fun and games from here on out. Well, we still have to cut our paper, but... And I do that maybe different than some. Some people do things different. I ripped my tape there, so I'm going to cut this one off a little weird. And you'll see, I mean, using the ink does save you a little time versus, the scissors, because in the scissors, you have to stop. You got to put the tape down. You got to pick up the scissors. You got to cut it. You have to put it down. Will I have it finished tonight? The entire stuffed pocket part, yes. Pocket. See, you guys have got me. Yeah, I have a stuffed pocket. The entire stuffed pocket part will be finished. Then next week, I'll actually come on next week, and I'm going to actually make all the things, the stuff. Some of that we may get done tonight. It's just going to depend on, time. Right now it's 1/4 till, and so, yeah, we may. But I can put that down because I'm going to use my glue on my paper. Okay, so the only 2 things that shouldn't have tape on them are these 2. They're the ones that are both 5 inches. Okay? Okay, so let me put this to the side. Now, here's what I was going to show you. If you're mailing it and maybe you're just sending it as a rack, and maybe you don't want to put as much stuff in it, you just want to send a couple things, but you want to do it really nice, okay, you can do this. This has a little pocket here. Like, you can tuck stuff in to hold. And then this pocket tucks stuff in to hold. This pocket tucks stuff in to hold, right? Okay, you can do that. On the back, there's a tuck pocket and there's a pocket there. This pocket is tighter. It does not have, these have a 1/4 inch. You can see how these come out like this. It has that gap in there to fit stuff. The one on the back doesn't have that. This is tighter. I do this for a lot of like my tall tags and things like that, where they're not as big, where you want them to hold so they don't flip around everywhere. So that's just how I do that. So if you're going to mail, you can build, in a minute I'm going to do it with this one and you'll see, but I'm using the one that has the accordion folded gap in it to give us more space, because I want to be able to stuff stuff in the top. You don't have to do that. You can build it like this. And if you want to build this one, you're going to follow the same exact thing that I did, except you're going to use your base only. You're not going to add the big stuffy pocket part. So that'll give you just the base with small pockets. for something small for a rack. If you want to, be able to stuff it and send a lot of stuff, then you're going to use your big stuffy pocket. So you get, once we put this on there, you can see that you'll get that gapage. Gapage? Is that a word? You'll get this big, huge, gappy part you can stuff. The stuffy part inside. If you just want to mail it and want something easy, that doesn't weigh as much, then this is ideal to do. That's the difference between the two. That's why I wanted to do this one, so you could see like what this one looked like. Does everybody understand that? Does that make sense? I'm going to get a drink of water. You guys can tell me yes why I say it. No, I'm just kidding. Does that make sense, though? Hopefully that does. Put this over here, and I need to grab my cutter back out again. Okay, so if we remember right, this is 5 by 8. Okay. I'm using this on my back because I absolutely love this. Okay. So on the very back, gusset. That's the word I was looking for, Linda, and it just was not coming around for me. I am a gusset pocket. That's what I meant, and it just. I told everybody earlier I had a severe headache this morning, and for whatever reason, I'm still like struggling to get my brain going. Okay, I'm using this for my front, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to make it easier on myself to mat. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this. Oh, don't do that. I'm just going to draw my circle out of there and go ahead and cut that. Yes, Connie, I am. Yes, the after migraine fog, that's what I have going on, and I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So that's out, and I don't have to think about it or anything like that. Now, you could cut this and then do that, but I already know I want a 1/4 inch at the top, a 1/4 inch at the bottom. So with this being 8, and I want, or no, I'm sorry, the 7.5, because we did the thing at the bottom. 7.5. I want a 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch. I'm going to cut this at 7 is where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to measure this up to my 7. Nope, wrong way, guys. Don't do it that way. Nobody followed Dorothy's directions. She's crazy today. Okay, so I want it at 7, and again, this is 5, so I'm going to cut it at 4.5 wide. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to cut it at 4.5. See, right like that. When I lay it down, hopefully, no. Oh yeah, I have to trim it more. That's right. I always do this. Okay, so I'm gonna, you know what, I can do this better on my board because it has my 1/4 inch increments. Okay, I always forget to do this until I get ready to do it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta do that. Okay, so I have my circle here, right? But I want it to be a 1/4 inch off. So I'm gonna have to, one side, you'll notice one side will be bigger than your other, even though you did it because of where you cut. So I come over about a 1/4 inch over, like that. Cut that extra off, which will be like my extra 1/4 inch around the edge. Trim up where I cut earlier where it was crooked. And there you go. Now see, I can notice, and you sort of have to play with it, because I notice here that this is off a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of draw that at about a 1/4 inch out, and then just cut that teeny tiny little bit off. Now, if you had a circle punch, you could do it, and doing a circle punch is even then you have to do it, or you won't get that full. So that's how you do that. And yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so that part's matted. I can set it to the side. And this is how I sort of go. It just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so I know this is the back. This is going to be my front. My front pockets are going to be layered. So it's going to be like this pocket, and then this pocket, and then my little slit. So I know I'm going to do that. So I'm going to grab a page that I want to use. I think I'm going to use this one for my back. So this has got to be cut, and it's going to be at 4.5 by 7.5. Yes, 4.5 by 7.5. Yes, I had to stop and think about that. 4.5, and I actually want 7.5. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off each. Oh no, I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off each side, because I want it sort of the design to sort of be centered, if that makes sense. There we go. There is that. That is done. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead, which I love about this paper. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this on the bottom on the same page, because I know it's sort of going to blend in with the background, if that makes sense. So I know this is 1 inch. Well, let me pull this inside. Okay, so I'm going to measure this. This is 1 by 5. So I'm going to need 4.5. No, yeah. Do I want to do? Yeah, 4.5 by a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut it off the bottom. So I need a 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Let me go ahead and cut this down to exactly 8 inches and make my job a little simpler. Okay. So I need a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut it 7.5. There's my 1/2 inch. Put it to the side here in a minute, and I'll cut it down in a second. Okay. Then I know this one I need at, let's see, it's 2 1/4. So I need 1/4 1/4. I need 1 3/4. 1 3/4. So there's 2, 3, 1 3/4. And I know both of those were the same exact size. So I need 1 3/4 again. Okay. So there's that. And we'll come back and get the others in a second. I want to go ahead and make sure these. Oh, I need to cut these lengthwise. Woo-hoo. And these were 5, right? Yep. So I need these cut at. Need to turn it this way. I need these cut at 4.5. Okay, there's one that goes with this. Here's this one. I need it cut at 4.5. It's going to go with this. And I sort of just lay them together. Is that 4.5 by 7.5? What did I say? What did I miss? What? Because of the way I'm cutting. Yes, I'm going to put all of the mat sizes and the cutting sizes on Facebook. Or I'll probably do it in the description box below here. It'll be a little bit easier to do. I can do that. And this needs to be 4.5. 4.5 with that one. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find another piece of paper that I want to use. I'm going to use this one. I like it a lot. Our what pocket's going to have gappage? 5 by 3, so that needs to be 4.5 by 2.5. So I'm going to cut this side off at 4.5. Okay, and I need 2.5. Nope, I don't want to do it that way. I need to do this one first. So this needs to be cut at a 1/2 inch. I need to cut it this way then because that'd be too crazy. There's my 1/2 inch for that. Are these which these I'm doing now? I'm confused. The ones that I'm doing now? Is that what you're talking about? What do you need, Lori? I'm confused. Okay, somebody tell me what's going on. Okay, and then I'm going to round all of my corners off at a 1/4 inch with my 1/4 inch side, just because that's me. You do not have to round the corners off. You can leave them if you want. I just like the way that they look rounded. And I keep all of them matched up with, where they go. Okay, what does anybody have any questions? Or you stuck? Ask me and I'll try to explain. I know it's sort of hard when you're like, you don't know what's going on. Right now, I'm just matting all of the pockets. Does that, except that one that I just totally hacked up. So I have to cut that again. Because I'm reading and not paying attention. Oh, all the cutting. Yeah, I will write all of the sizes down to cut. Um, most of them are the same. You're just matting. You're just going to cut. Okay. Let me explain it this way. This will make it easier. All of the mats, you're just going. I cut that one crooked. Daggone it. It's going to be one of those days, you guys. Hold on. No, let me turn around here and cut this. Hold on, I'm cutting a piece and then I'll be there. All of these, everything that I just cut, okay, that mats the inside. Are you following me? It all mats all of the pockets on the outside and all of that. I'm going to keep these square because it's crazy to try to round those corners. They're just way too small. It's way too thin. Okay. All of these that I'm matting, you're literally just going to cut whatever size the cardstock was. You're going to take a 1/4 inch off each side. So you're going to take a 1/2 inch off the width and a 1/2 inch off the height. That way you get that difference between the cardstock. I'll show you in a second, if that makes sense. It's nowhere near as difficult as it probably seems when you're sitting here going, "Why? How in the world do I keep up with these numbers?" And I'll show you in a second, and I'll explain it. It'll be easier when I show you and you can actually see it. It may make a bit more sense than just hearing it. Okay. I'm going to use this because this is going to be the easiest one to use. Okay. Remember we cut this. It was 5 inches wide and 8 inches long. Okay. We want to mat it with a pretty paper. We're going to mat it with a pretty paper. So I'm going to grab my paper, and when I cut my paper and I want to cut it, I want a 1/4 inch here, a 1/4 inch on this side, and a 1/4 inch on the top and bottom so you can see the cardstock underneath of it. Just to mat it if you think like a picture inside a picture frame. Okay? So to get a 1/4 and a 1/4, I know this is a 1/4 inch, this is a 1/4 inch, so that's a 1/2 inch total. So instead of cutting it 5 inches wide, I'm only going to cut it 4.5 inches wide. This is 8 inches long. The cardstock is. I need it a 1/2 inch shorter, so I'm going to cut it at 7.5. So you're going to do that. These, like this one, is 2 1/4 by 5. So you're going to cut it. Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't 2 1/4, was it? Yeah, 2 1/4. So you're going to cut it at 1 3/4, a 1/2 inch smaller widthwise, and 4.5, which is a 1/2 inch shorter lengthwise. And that's what you're going to do on every single one. Yeah, and if you don't want to, if you want to do it the easy way and you don't want to measure, get you a book page. Okay, let me grab a book page real fast. Let me find a book page that fits. Okay. Say I don't want to use paper at all. I just want to collage it. Grab you a book page. This book page isn't big enough. Cover it up, glue it down, add another page, glue it down, add another page, glue it down. Cover the whole thing if you want to. You don't have to mat it with paper. I'm just saying if you want to use a kit and you sort of want the cardstock to show, then you can cut that 1/4 inch edge. If you don't care about seeing the cardstock, before you even cut anything, just cover your cardstock and layer it like when you're going to collage or you're doing a master board, something like that. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope I explained that better. I thought I sort of hard to keep track of myself today, let alone anybody else. Does everybody get that? Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to ink everything. Now, the base page, you're going to want to ink all the way around one side. The other side, I always ink around it because if you glue it together, it might show through. So, I mean, I would suggest inking it. But the only thing you really have to ink is the top and the side. Okay? So, we're going to ink the base page. Okay? Then you're going to ink around what you cut there. And again, I'm using archival ink. This is in potting soil. It just happens to be the one I really like that blends with this kit good. It's a lot easier than what it seems. It's complicated when you're throwing numbers around. I don't like doing numbers because I think it gets more confusing. So, okay. And then I'm just going to glue that down. Easy money. And I could tape it down, but since it's page, I'm just going to just glue it down with my Fabri-Tac real fast. I would use my art glitter glue, but I have soaked it and everything else, so I had to order a whole new lid because it's just going crazy. Okay. And remember, I'm going to put a 1/4 inch edge around it. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to sort of eyeball it. Smooch it around a little bit if I need to. So down. Okay. This is my front. Okay. So on my front, I know I have both of these pockets and my little bottom pocket. So these pockets are layered. I'm going to start with the top one. Okay. Now I have mine on my board here and I like doing my top pocket. You can sort of set them out. And I have to see. This goes this way. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I matched up the way that it went. Okay. So I've got my bottom here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do my top pocket at about 3.5. The next one down, I'm going to go to about 1.5. Maybe I may have to slide it down. Nope, I'm going to slide it down a little bit. That's what I was wondering. I'm going to slide it down to about 3/4 up. So we may have to slide them down as we go. I sort of do this on the go. So, okay. So, yep, that'll work. Okay. So I'm going to put this one at 1, 2 3/4 is where I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going to ink it up first. Now, one thing to remember, if your people are getting in here and they're pulling stuff out of their pockets, right? They are probably going to see the inside, so I like to ink up the inside. So, you know, you don't get that sort of white showing through. Okay. Then, first thing I'm going to do is reach over here, slide that back, push that down. Because remember, I had my tape under my tape. All you got to do is push it like that. It's going to come up. You can reach down through here. And you can do that when you put it on if you want to. I don't bother because it's just as easy to do this way. Okay, put it on there. Pull it off. Pull it off. Pull it off. Okay, now remember I said I was going to do this at 3.25. 1, 2, 3.25, correct? Is that what I said? 3.25? I have a headache, so I'm trying to keep track of myself here. 3.25, yes, because this one goes at 3/4. Nope. Let's see. That's at 3/4. Let's put that right there. 2.5. Let's put it, yeah, let's just put it at 2.5. That works for me. Does it work for you? We'll put it at 2.5. And you're just gonna line it up and put it down. Okay. Then I'm gonna grab I'm gonna go ahead, and I like layering these, doing each one completely before I layer the next one, because it just saves you time trying to dig down in there and put it on the pocket, if that makes sense. Okay. Cap overboard. Hold on. Let me find it while I've seen it. Okay. Is everybody still with me? Anybody lost? Like I said, I'll write these measurements down and post them. It'll probably be tomorrow. So please be patient with me. So then I'm going to put this, and I'm just going to line this up with this so it looks more cohesive. Put it about even. I have to hold it up to look at it to see if it's even. Okay. Glue it down. So there's my first pocket on, right? Okay. Now, my next one. And at this point, you really don't have to measure. All you have to do is remember that you have this bottom that goes on, right? And it goes to 1 inch. So you need to come down, enough to where it's sort of tucked under there. So, yep, I'm going to do mine right about there. And again, ink up. Remember to do the inking inside. I sort of ink heavy on these because I think it just adds more grunginess to the steampunk. I'm trying. It's been one of those days. It's been a long day all day. I'm like, then my kids were going, so I had, they're going for the weekend. So, and they're leaving at 10:30 tonight. And normally they don't leave till like Saturday, so at noon. So that changed everything, trying to do all that and get to the grocery, because I didn't want to go tomorrow when there's like 800 people out there flopping around with things the way they are. Okay, so I'm going to put this at 3/4. And if you have a mat, or you put your ruler down, or even pencil mark on each side, it helps sort of keep it nice and straight. So that one's on. And I threw that one overboard. Again, geez, one of those days. Okay. And when I do this now, as far as you can use scrapbook paper, if you don't want to use digital, use regular scrapbook paper. If you're using a really heavyweight scrapbook paper, because you can buy scrapbook paper, like Walmart is a good place. Walmart has scrapbook paper that's like thinner than my copy paper. But then they have, if you go to like Michael's or places like that, and you buy like, say, Prima paper, or Blue Fern Studios, or Graphic 45, they have really heavy, nice cardstock. If you're using that, you can cut everything to the size of your cardstock. You don't have to worry about matting anything with a secondary paper, which is nice, but I've actually weighed, and because I've made some with Prima paper and stuff like that, and, went to ship them, and they actually still weigh more than my lighter cardstock with my copy paper on it. So, if you're looking for the cheaper shipping alternative, it's definitely coating it with like paper and then using a nice, 65-pound cardstock. Okay. And see, because of the way that I cut it, when I cut it, there's only a 1/4 inch of that picture missing. And it's the 1/4 inch that, is tucked behind there. So you actually get that cohesive look of your page being together, if that makes sense. And me and all my silliness didn't tape the bottom of this one. So you want to tape the bottom of this one too. That was My fault. Because when I glue, I usually, do all that at once. Okie dokie. And I'm going to pull that up, pull this over, pull that over, lift this up. Yeah, and if you're going to, do these, it's sort of really nice to have the double-sided tape versus the glue because, it dries faster. It doesn't. Oh, ink. Nobody remind me to ink. I caught it myself. I'm so proud of myself. I never remember till after it's down, and then I have to try to undo it and dig it around to try to figure it out. Oh, wrong end. I crinkled that up doing that. Okie doke. And this one I'm just going to line up to the very bottom. Just sort of make sure it's lined up and centered in the bottom. Right like that. Then I'm going to ink it up. And of course, I did not, because of how thin it is, I did not round the bottom corners. Everybody caught, little late. I caught it myself. You guys may have been inking about the same. I told you it's one of those days. Yep, that goes that way. There we go. Pull it out. See, I probably should have pushed this down a little bit more and it wouldn't have showed my curves right at the corner, but it's not enough that I'm really going to stress about it because I don't think it's all that noticeable. Okay. So there's that. So that's the front. Okay. You can flip it over now. Now it gets a little bit easier. Okay. I'm going to ink this. Now, everybody's going, what? How is she going to ink this? I'm going to ink around my circle, ink around my top. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and ink on the inside while I have it here. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in. I'm going to ink around my edges. On the outside here. And again, I'm sort of inking heavy. I'm not really caring if it gets out in here. I sort of like that goofy look that it does. Okay, then I'm going to ink and I'm going to just slide it down through here. Right? So it's going to ink both those little edges. Just to make it, because if you don't, okay, look. Here's the side with that edge. See how you have the darkness and then it's just real white? That just creates that nice little dark edge. Right like that. And it's inked on the edges, so when I glue it, it's going to go down with that inked edge sticking out. Now you can pull your tape off. And then sort of ink it if you want to get under there, but I don't really find that you really get much of a difference as long as you but you can, hit it and then come through once you take your paper off and sort of hit it on this side some. It's not really going to hurt the tape. It's not going to keep it from sticking right on the edge. Just don't ink the whole tape down. Do you see what I'm saying? Just hit the edge if you want. You can do that. Hit the top edge. top edge, and you're good to go. You can ink between the whole entire thing in between, or you can ink it before you score it, or score it before you fold it ink. You don't really notice it, but you can run between there with a brush. Okay, so then I'm just going to take it down. I'm going to, slide it up to where it's all even on the bottom. Start from the bottom, and I put the bottom down. Then I come over here, and I put this side down, making sure you sort of get it all even. I don't push anything down a lot until I know it's stuck exactly where it needs to be. And if you hold it to the side, I don't know if I can. Okay. If you can tell where this is sort of stuck out a little bit, if you hold it to the side, when you go to put it on, you can sort of push that down to where you need it to be, to where it meets. That way, you get it on there straight. Then once I get it on there straight, then I'll go ahead and, add some. See how it's stuck out here, right here? So as I go, you can sort of push it, where it's even. Okay. Now, once it's even, if you were worried about inking or whatever, once it's like that, you can go in. I usually use my ruler, but I don't know what I do with my ruler. I had my ruler this morning working with it, and I've not been able to find it. You can take your scissors or whatever and sort of push it up, bump it up a little bit, take your corner and go through there and do both the sides if you're worried about it not having that inked look. And you can fit your hand in there, so there's plenty of room. You can hold it in there and darken it up really good. And you push down to the bottom, and you can ink the bottom up real good. I'll show you guys once I get it all done here. You push it, it'll sort of gap it open where you can get in there. And I sort of like it to come through some. You don't want it because it sort of, gives that weathered look to it if you get some of the light and some of the dark. Okay. So see, you get that worn, old look to it. Then once you get done, just take your fingertips and you can sort of push it down and then fold it, and it'll go right back into place. So you have that nice inked edge. Okay. Nope. Then ink it up real. I called you old and worn, did I? And you can, if you want it, if you want to darken some of the corners in, to make it more grungy, you can. I mean, you can, do it however you want, create that really grungy look. Lori, it's Mom's fault. She told me to tell the truth. Flip it over so you get it where you want it. And like I said, mine's a little lopsided, but it doesn't bother me that much. I know. Okay, then this one doesn't have the gussets in it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my glue, just go around my outside edges, as close to the edge as I can get, but still get it glued. Then I'm just gonna match it up at the bottom, right like that. Oh, see, the glue slips and slides. Not on the back. I like to, now you can, if you want to, you can. I don't like to do one of them because sometimes you get things that are really thin you want to put in, and you know, they'll like fall out or whatever if they're real too thin. Like, I mean, like this card, I can put this in here, but if I hold it upside down, it's going to fall out. Okay. If I put it back here where there's not, and I hold it upside down, it doesn't fall out. So I leave some space back there for that. And I'm trying to find, oh, here. And then this goes down here. So I'm just gonna ink it up. Ink it up. And once you get this, well, I got one more to put on. You don't have to do the other one on, but I do like having, because I mean, you have like tickets and stuff like that are really teeny tiny that just get lost in pockets. So I sort of like having the little bumper, sort of I don't know what you call them, little tuck pockets at the bottom, the little bumper pockets at the bottom, just because, you know, those little things do fall out, and if you have them, that sort of lends a little area to stick your tickets and stuff in. It is really neat if you're doing, you know, if you know somebody and they're doing like, okay, they're doing a steampunk journal. You can do this, then you can load it full of steampunk ephemera and send it to them. So it makes it really cool. And I'm going to add glue across the bottom. Put my paper off my tape. And again, I'm going to bumper this against the bottom just like I did the one on the front. However, it is going to be just a tad to the inside, just because of the way it is. So there's like, see how there's like this like teeny tiny little bitty area over there. You can't even really see it, but it's there. Then ink my little bottom up here. Yeah, and I mean, if what I like doing, I've did them where they were themed around a certain thing. I've did them where, you know, the pocket itself was themed, but I just sent, you know, paper and coffee filters and all that kind of thing. Ask away, Lori dear. There you go. So see, this one has, you've got the, you never know. So you have your tucky here, right? Your little tuck. And I'll show you. Like, okay, this is one of the, see how that just fits in there real nice? That's funny, Lori. You've got this one. You've got this one. You've got the big one. So if you want to do big tags or packages of anything, you have another one here and one here. So you've got tons of room in there. Now, I come back. You can do this before you put it on there, but that's just me. I'm going to come back and ink up in here, which you can do before you glue it down if you want. But, you know, I'm lucky if I can. I like having that darkness on there. Yep. Yeah, because, and I'll show you, like, okay, here's the difference. These are the same size pockets. This pocket and these pockets are the same. So I'll stick both these in there. There's two of them in there, right? This is on the front. This is where it's gusseted. You can see them sliding around everywhere and moving around like that. Not to mention if I hold them upside down, they're going to fall out. Back here, I can put the same two ones in the pocket. They're not moving around and shifting. I'm shaking. It's not falling down. So that's why I like doing a mix of both, because you have some things that just, you know, you don't want flopping and falling everywhere. Okay. So let's see. Oops. So I'm digging through here. All my little pieces, because I have little pieces over here. And I know there's one that says Steampunk. Yep. Yep. Okay. Now you can decorate more after this if you want to, you know, embellish it however you want. You know, you could put buttons. You could do all kinds of stuff. I'm going to actually use this one little card that says Steampunked, and I'm inking it up. Okay. And this is the same exact color as that. So I don't know if you can tell that orange is in there or not. Even on the dragonfly wing. So I'm going to take my pencil, just mark it around the edge here. Like that. And ink it up a little bit around the edges, because, you know, it's steampunk. So you do have to have a little bit of ink on it. Then I'm going to put, it doesn't take a lot of glue when you're doing doilies, just a little bit. I'm just sort of gluing some of the little spaces down so it doesn't flop and flip everywhere and get stuck and caught up on everything. And because I traced it, it sort of goes right around the edge like that. Okay. That. I'm going to put the little steampunk card down on top of it. And I'm going to sort of let it hang off the side a little bit. Okay. I'm going to tilt it a little bit. Then I'm going to get one of my gears and put it right there. Just as, yeah, you could do all kinds of little goofy things to it. You know, it depends on how much ever you decide that you want to decorate it. I mean, you can do it as elaborate, you know, with as much embellished stuff as you want to. Mindy's husband lives in Germany. Or you can do as little as you want. It just sort of depends on, you know, how you want to do it. So I want that there. Oops. Oops. And then I have a little bitty one that I'm going to put down here to the side. And you can use Fabri-Tac with these buttons. You can use hot glue. Yep. Lots of fun to decorate it. So I'm going to put that there and hold it down a little bit because you have to do that. Yeah, now here's something too that I wanted to, okay, this is something I do. I know some people don't, but I like to send loaded pockets. I mean, obviously we junk journal, right? So everything we do, I like to make where you can journal it. You can put it in your journal. So what I like to do is you can fill it full of all kinds of stuff, you know, tags and tucks and all that kind of stuff that they can put into their junk journals. Then what I like doing is when I have mine, like when I've used mine, I'll take it and well, this is a big piece, but I'll take it and I'll rip my fabric, right? And, you know, use my ink on it and make it real dark and grungy. And then just put it maybe like a 1/2 inch over where you can still use the pockets, but, you know, it's glued on there. You can glue it onto your back cover or your front cover and have that as a flip out on your back or front cover, which makes it really nice because you can put tons of journaling stuff in there. Or, or what I like to do is after I take all of it out, all of my extra embellishment stuff. So if I have like washi tape on my card, all my lace, you know, any extra tucks and tags, any extra paper you haven't used, you know, all that stuff, I cut it all down to where it'll fit in here and I can use it. Then you can fit it all on here. But I'm going to ink the back of this because that's got to be inked. So, yeah, but that's how I like to do mine. So this is what it looks like. I'll still, you know, like I want to put some lace across here, especially this back pocket. You know, it's got that pink rose. So, you know, and I like the shabby. You know, for whatever. See, I liked that whole shabby chic steampunk look. So let me, I'll cut it off better in a minute. Dorothy, what? What'd Dorothy do now? So you can put that on there. Then I'm going to go through and cut the little hangover off. I know, right? And I love the pink with it because I think it just adds this whole nother. I mean, you see steampunk, and I love steampunk, but I think it just adds this whole other vibe. But see, I've got the little clock there. So I'm going to pull out my little clock buttons. And then my husband, who is a doll, bought me this whole at the Menards, I think, something like that, Hobby Lobby, something like that. He bought me this whole set of these little mini wrenches, and they're like in the men's section, where you buy the little sets of tools. You could probably find them at Walmart, but there's all kinds of different little wrenches. But one of the little wrenches, it looks like this. Hopefully it'll come in where you can see it. It looks like this, right? And then the top of it looks like this. It's a little flat head, right? Like that is what it looks like. If you can find one of these, it is worth investing in. I will tell you why. You see this little plastic button, and it works on metal too. These cut metal too. It's got the little shank on the bottom. See the little shanky thing right there? I can take this right here, put it to my shank. Okay. Boom. It depends on who you buy them from, what the set. They're all called. It's called like, I've seen them called like 6 different things. Okay. And then I have to turn this. And I'm going to put my little clock. I'm going to sort of, I don't know if I want to turn it where the 12 is up. Yeah, I think I do. Yep, it is awesome. If I find a set, I'll keep my eyes out and tell you. I don't know. He buys me all kinds of tools. He bought me that. And then I've showed this before. He bought me this. This is a Gordon set. These are from Harbor Freight. If you know what Harbor Freight is. One of these are gone because I'm using it right now. But it opens up. I've got a couple out I'm working with. It has tons, and these are all, like you have your little knives. These are all interchangeable tips that you can do, and they all do different things. So there's even a tip. There's even like carving cutter tips that you can use like for erasers to make stamps and all that kind of stuff. I will if I happen to see one. I don't know. I'll ask him. He'll know exactly what it's called because he bought it for me, the set. But yeah, so then that's got my little clock, because, I have my little clock here, which, that's not a lot. It's not going to add a lot of weight because these are plastic. And this big box, like I said, came from Walmart. And they even have little hearts with steampunk stuff on them. They're really cute. Yeah, I did when my kids were little. I kept all that stuff in my room locked up. Is there an auction tomorrow night? Yes, there's going to be an auction tomorrow night, as long as everything goes well. I will post. If there isn't, I will post in the group early tomorrow. So yeah, so we've got the whole front decorated. And there wasn't a lot here, but we didn't add a lot of weight, a lot of bulk, but it still looks, pretty fancy. And you have to realize, and I'll say this before, because if you guys have this made, next week we're going to start putting all the stuff in it. And I do have some different little things that I make that, you don't see too often in them, I guess. At least I've been told that. But here's one thing to remember. Do not over decorate your pocket. Okay? Because you may go, well, that's just plain paper. Right? Okay. It's not, though, because we're going to have stuff stuck in here. We're going to have stuff stuck in here. You're going to have stuff sticking out of here. You're going to have stuff stuck out of all these pockets. So if you embellish it, you're not going to be able to see a lot of it because you're going to have a ton of stuff stuck everywhere. You're going to have stuff, it's going to stick up. So, like, here's a perfect example. Here's the tags, okay? This goes in the back one. That's a big tag. So, even in here, if we doctor our tags up and make them all fancy and how heavy and bulky they get, you're going to have your tags in here stuck up. So, not only are you going to have those stuck up, but you're going to have your toppers stuck out. You're going to have stuff in here, that's going to add to. But yeah, so we're going to have a lot of stuff in here. So, you don't want to over bulk it. I do have an Amazon link. I I'm working on that, making me, I'm working on getting my list of things that I normally use for Amazon. But yeah. So I'm not going to go ahead and start embellishing and all that because I'm going to get in the middle of something. It's going to be done. I will tell you next week I will be. So if you're going to use this kit comes from Junk with Steph. Go to her Etsy store and get it if you want to, whatever. If you don't want to use this, you can use whatever kit. It doesn't matter. Yes, I'm going to overbalk mine, Marty. Mine will be balky. I'm telling you, I will have packages of stuff crammed in here and everything else. I can just tell you from doing these before, if you over embellish on the front, you can't fit all your stuff into them. So you end up with like half empty pockets because you're trying to work around stuff because you can't get it without, ripping the pockets. So we are going to do one after we've done doing this one. I may do another one. I do a super bulky one that is a whole lot bulkier than this. This is like my mailing one. There is a super bulky one. I sent one to my friend Shelly. It still hangs on her wall. That I do that's bigger. It's like wider. And it's like you have to ship it in a flat rate package when you ship it because it won't go in any other size. Okay, well, we just started doing this today, Jackie. So, yeah, and next week we will decorate it. And then once I get it all decorated and stuff, I will set it to the side because I'm actually doing a journal out of these. And then I'm going to pull all of my decorated embellishments out of it to use in my journal to sort of show you how you can use the different things that you get within my journal. And then when I get done, this will be attached into my journal for me to use. And I always like putting it in my back cover. I put it in my back cover and flip over. And then on this side, on the inside of my cover, I do a full cover pocket with it. So you'll be able to sort of see how I use all the embellishments that I make. And, if you liked when I made my flowers and stuff like that for embellishments, I tend to do that kind of stuff. Some of them are so cute. I'm super excited. I love steampunk, so I'm all over this. So we will do our Christmas journal Monday and Tuesday. And then Thursday and Friday, I will probably be working on this and then move it into the journal for this. And that'll probably be what I'll work on Thursdays and Fridays. So if you're sort of interested in doing a steampunky type journal, I will be doing that too. I won't do every single thing, but I will, the steampunky type oriented stuff, because let's face it, the cover, sewing the signatures, all that kind of stuff. There are tons of videos out there. Yes, and I will tomorrow, like I said, please be patient with me because I'm not sure how much sleep I'll get tonight, even with my head. But I will get the measurements up. I may try to get them up tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow, though. And I will post them in the Facebook group. And not only will it be in the Facebook group, it'll be in the files. So when you go in the file, it'll have everything printed in there. That way you don't have to search through everything on the page. If you go in and you have the bar across the top. You know how the bar goes. Well, I was going to show you if I can. Well, I can't get my phone to go. There's too much crap here. There's stuff everywhere. There it went. If you go into the Facebook group, let me go back to where we're supposed to be. I have stuff everywhere, you guys. If you go into the Facebook group and all your pictures across the top, just scroll across so you see files and click on it. And there is all kind of stuff in there that you can access to. Freebies and all kinds of stuff there if you did not know. Do there. The Secret Garden, I am still, we finished it with the exception of I was binding and embellishing, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the binding and embellishing part. Oh, no, Jackie. No, 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 no. No, no. So I do have mine. I'll show you the outside. I'm not done embellishing, but I did get the outside done. There's my outside. I love it. I haven't got my lace on and all my embellishing done. I actually put mine in like a hidden spine, like I always do, when you sew them and glue them onto the inside but I loved the way that the Jane looked when we did the ribbon tie-in. So yeah, it actually is in paper. I haven't done the inside yet. I did go and stencil the inside of my cover, but I haven't got my inside. I was looking for my pockets. I've moved them out of the way. And then I've got pockets that I'm putting in the front that's going to have stuff in it. But I love how the stenciling did in the background. So this will be covered up with lace. I haven't got that far yet. This will be here. But then I wanted this stenciling to show through on the top, because I loved how it came through. So, but yes, this is sewed in like I normally do with my 3 full pamphlet stitch. But I wanted to run... Where's the center? There it is. I wanted to run my ribbon through just because I love the way that looks. And I stenciled some of my background pages. Let's see. I went through and stenciled some of those in my bricks because, it's a garden, and I was thinking garden walls would be really cute with the bricks. I loved this, so I did a lot of my pages that way. Some different, I just sort of make it, all floral, but more like gardening. Look at my brick wall with my flowers. Love it. I love this. I am definitely doing this again, you guys. I love this. I want a whole kit done like this. I loved the brick with the flowers. So I'm definitely going to do that again. Sort of that garden wall feel. So yeah, like this will go in the front, and I have this one that's going to go in the back. So it's a little bit different, but that'll give me some pockets to go up. But yeah, this will have lace over it, and then the stenciling will show through. But yeah, honestly, I'm telling you guys straight up, I told my husband, so he's getting some of this board for me, and I'm going to paint it with the cream, like this color, ink around the edges. And then I'm stenciling this for my Edith Holden cover, because I think that would look so good on an Edith Holden. And then, with your Edith Holden, stuff on top, it'd be so pretty. Yep, I am super stoked with this. I'm so happy that I decided to keep it myself, and then it's got Miss April's cover on it, which I absolutely adore. This cover, I love it. I wasn't sure if she had sealed it, so I did go through and seal it. So that's why it looks a little bit brighter than it did before, I think, because it sort of has that. Which this pocket, do you guys want to know how to make this real fast? Okay, this is pretty easy. You're going to, let me see what the measurements are. Let me see what the measurements is. Okay. This is how I made this pocket, you guys. Let me grab a piece of paper real fast. Okay. Oh, I can't drink ginger. Oh, yeah, but my husband, we were just looking at some. He found some, but he said, no, he's seen it somewhere else cheaper. So I'm going to go see if I can find it. He said if you go to Menards, no. Menards? Yes, Menards. You can find it. Night, Lori. Oh, yeah, go to bed, sweetie. Okay, you're going to take your regular piece of paper, which is, 8.5 by 11, right? So you're going to cut it at 5.5. That's it. Let me grab one more piece. You need 2 sheets of paper. Okay. Cut them both at 5.5, or just, cut your sheet of paper in half. Easy money. Lori, hon, if you had to get up at 4:30, I'd already been in bed. You're doing better than me. Okay. Then it doesn't matter what size you want it to be. You just take it. Like, okay, I'll tell you about where I folded. Let me look at my thing and make sure. Let me see. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay. So it's 8.5. I fold mine at about 3 inches. Folded at 3 inches. I don't know. I will have him check. I'll see this weekend, and I think he said something about trying to run down there this weekend. So if we do, I will let you know, April. Okay, so you're going to fold. You need 3 of them. 3. Fold all 3 of them fold them on the 3-inch line. 3 inches. It doesn't matter if it's bottom or top. You just need 3 inches. Okay. Then I take my 1/2 inch rounder. Okay, and you're going to round the long side. You have the big long side. Just round those corners off. That was sucky rounding. Sorry, guys. I guess I shouldn't have said sucky. Okay. And round off each of those pieces. Round those corners off. Yep, I will do. He said something about trying to run down there, so I'll see if. Okay. There you go. Let me get all my little ends out of the way. I have them everywhere. Okay. That's it. Then, good night, Jackie. Then you're just going to take right here on your edge, run glue up both sides. I mean, these are as simple as it gets, guys. I mean, 1.5 sheets of paper. So if you have 3 sheets of paper, you can make 2 of them. Oops. And you're going to glue all 3 of them up the side. Right like that. Which is pretty easy money. Okay. Then I come up and I fold this to where it's about 1/2 inch. See where you can see where you folded it. And I ink mine first before I fold it, but I was trying to hurry for these. I come down about 1/2 inch and fold. So if you lay it flat, you're going to fold right at, about 1.5 inches in. And you're going to fold all of them that way, which, I mean, they don't have to be the same, but I think it looks better if they're like sort of the same. And you may have to, if it's not exactly just fold them each like that. You're just going about 1/2 inch down, right like that. Okay. Then you're going to fold them up. You're going to come on this one. I come down halfway. So halfway down the front of the envelope. And you can do this with regular envelopes too. I just really like making mine out of coffee dyed paper. Just because I like the way that it looks. Okay. I cut this crooked too, so this probably doesn't help with the getting that straight part. Okay. And then this one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to come about halfway up the front envelope. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I glued the bottom of that. I think I did. And you're going to glue across the bottom too. Unless, now there are 2 options. Yeah, I did glue these. Okay, you can glue across the bottom, which just gives you, let me go ahead and put this down and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can glue down the bottoms. So see, like this one's going to be probably a little bit taller than this one. Yeah, so see, you can change the height of them depending on how high you want them to be. Okay? Or how large you want to be. You can tuck them down closer where these overlap, or you can separate them like this. If you want them closer like this, then what you do, let me see if I can pull it. Yeah, I can. If you want them closer, you're just going to take this and leave like a 1/2 inch between here, you know, move them up closer and do like that. Let me pull this one off and move it. That way you can see what that looks like. So you're just going to put them about a 1/2 inch down or so. Mine's not going to be straight because I'm just gluing it on there. So these are going to be all crooked, you guys. I am so sorry. It's one of those days. It's a crooked day. I'm saying no matter what I do, it's going to be crooked. There you go. Okay. Then if you glue them like that, or you can move them up closer, whatever you need to, so they overlap. Like that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like these I did. You know, it just sort of depends on where you do them, where you fold everything at, to how they fit. And then you just decorate them. This was a die. These are the same die cut. The same exact die cut. This is just a embossed piece of cream cardstock that I inked up. And then this and this and this. These three are the same die cut. I just put one pointing down and then put the top one pointing down. Then instead of putting this pointing down, I flipped it around so it sort of created more of a whole looking die cut right there. Good night, sweetie. Get some sleep. Tell Ron I said good night. But yeah, that's all you have to do. And then this one is a pocket. So this one has a tuck. Okay. Then there's a tuck in the back. This has a tuck in the front, a tuck in the back. And like here, and these are super simple. This, you literally just fold your piece of paper in half, fold 3 pieces of paper in half, glue down the sides. Then this one's here, you know, put glue on each side across the bottom, put this one down, glue across the sides and the bottom, and slide this one down and decorate it. That's how you do this one. So this is just, well, you can see, they're just 3 pieces of paper folded in half. So it creates one pocket on the top. On the second one, because you're glued onto it, you have the space that's behind the pages. And you've got the space that was actually the pocket. The same thing down here. You've got the one behind and the space in the pocket. So technically on these, on these, if you wanted to have even more, like a pocket here and then a pocket here, you could take these and fold these not all the way in half, but like this, and then glue them. And if you did that, you would actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets down the side instead of just 3. And then this is just coffee dyed paper. I threw some lace across the top, put a doily die cut. This was a little doily die cut that I have from LDRS. This is a Dollar Tree sticker, and then I just stenciled and inked around it. That was it. But it looks super cool, you know, and this same thing. You know, I stenciled around it, inked it, glued the die cuts on there, which you don't even have to do. And then this, I just put embossed paper there. It does create a little pocket in there. I didn't glue it all the way around, so it's a pocket too. But you could use any kind of scrapbook paper. You know, if you were doing steampunk, I may do some for steampunk. You know, you could put that on there and create one. So I may do some like that. I may go through a full, I'll do the exact measurements that I did with this one next Friday, and I'll make one of these. I don't know if I'll have to make it thinner so it would fit down in our pockets, but I may make a couple to stick down in my pocket too. Yep, easy peasy. Okay, guys, thanks everybody for sticking around, those who stuck around. Have a great evening. We'll be back to embellish and fill our pockets. Woo woo! And we'll do it. Or we may do another one of these. I may do another one. I may do a sort of a series of these. If I do the next one, we can do pockets on the back of it, which would be sort of nice just to have the whole back in pockets, which you could do. If you don't want to do this part right here, you could do these, but just cut it, the 5 inches wide and do this down the back, which would be really cute. So you guys have a great night. I will see you again tomorrow for the auction. Have a great evening. Like I said, I'm planning on doing an auction depending on how my head is. If my head's really crazy tomorrow, there's no way I can keep track of it. I may I don't know. I'll see what I'm doing. But yep, I love these, April. Absolutely love them. They are so fun to fill. They're fun to fill too. So, okay, you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you later. Love y'all. Stay safe and be healthy. Bye. Night, Joetta.